who can tell me what this session is going to be about today? Any ideas from the title? Can you possibly guess? Okay, sell, 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 and sell some more. So it's all about commerce, okay? It's all about getting the result, performance. And we have some great experts here today. And we have two giants representing both the social spectrum, Facebook, and also Google search and GDN. So we're going to be pitching them against each other. And who is the expert? Is it them, or is it three of the major e-commerce players within the Romanian market? Okay, we're talking about Fashion Days, we're talking about eMag, and also Tripster, online travel agent. So, without no further ado, let's start off with a quick presentation from Google, which I'm sure is going to be very interesting in terms of how you can convert online. Okay, so let's give the floor to start off with Elisabeta. Excuse me for the pronunciation of the surname.
Perfect, thank
Moraru? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start.
Bună dimineața! I will switch into English and I will start by telling you that there is no competition. If the colleagues from Facebook are here, I'm happy to meet you. We always tell to our clients, be social, use Facebook, use any kind of social media because they are a healthy marketing mix. Now, our presentation needs to be very short, so we will have it very speedy. But we said 2 years ago we were happy that we were invited by the organizers and we talked about mobile. Last year we talked about YouTube in the workshop. This year we said, if it allows me, let's talk about basics. Let's talk about the things we know for sure. The sun is shining. That's a fact. And what does it mean about us? It means that we want to talk about very simple but important things that we saw that our advertisers, the one we meet every day, encounter in working with Google, with AdWords especially. And I'll start by asking you, everybody here in the room, if you like my shoes. Please. Tell me if you like them. If you don't like them, I won't take it personally. It's okay. So please tell me, do you like my shoes? Thank you. Those who have raised the hand, I want only the women who are between 24 and 35 to raise their hand if they like my shoes. Thank you. That's a very low conversion rate. Imagine how you would do that online. How would you take only these women, show them my shoes, and sell them my shoes? So that's the challenge of my presentation today. I said that I'll take a very, very difficult role. I'll be a shoemaker who wants to sell shoes, of course. Not just red shoes, of course. And for that, I need a specialist. One of the advices, if you allow us to give you any kind of advices, is use specialized help, support from agencies, from people who work with certified persons. Now, I'll ask my colleague, Răzvan, who works with us in our team, analyzing data, to help me play this role play that we have prepared for you. So, Răzvan.
Thank you, Ella.
Lovely to meet you. I know Google has something special to help me identify demand. Can you help me out?
Exactly.
Thank you.
So basically, you're actually talking about a journey, right? And this is a journey of launching a new product, or if you have a new product, to actually enter a new market and so forth. So before doing any of this, you actually need to identify a few and clarify a few things. First of all, is there demand for my product? Second, look at any seasonalities and trends. So basically, identify any opportunities. And finally, and ideally, you'd actually want to understand your user, right? How he actually searches and how he behaves online. And quantifying demand. Let's start with demand. Starting from the user, from a consumer, which is always a good place to start, you actually have two ways of doing this. You have stated preferences, so basically what that user said about that product. And you also have revealed preferences, so his behavior towards that product. And I'm going to start with stated preferences. So basically, a user answering surveys, interviews, and so forth. And for this, we have an amazing tool. It's called Consumer Barometer. It's actually free and available
So
to anyone.
consumerbarometer.com or .ro?
Consumerbarometer2013.com.
Thank you.
Yeah. So basically, here we can actually find surveys of consumers all over the globe, including Romania. And just a few data that we actually extracted from this. We can actually see that 49% of the Romanians actually search for a footwear product before buying it, either online or offline. And we can also see that 50% of the Romanians actually bought one of these footwear products online. I've actually mentioned revealed preferences, right? So actually, what's the consumer's behavior? And for this, I'm going to use another public tool. Any of you can actually access it and use it. And it's called Google Trends. So basically, this tool allows you to actually enter any search terms and see the query evolution. So how many searches were for that term, the evolution of those searches.
Can I search also for brands, for competitors, for
Yeah,
example,
exactly.
to see
You
what's
can
their market share online?
Definitely.
Thank you.
And this tool actually allows you to do exactly that. So basically, here I have women's shoes, men's shoes, and kids' shoes for 2013, right? And you can actually do three amazing things with this tool. First of all, like Ella mentioned, you can actually identify how many searches are for a product in terms of share. So for women's shoes, I can actually see it's like the highest share of searches. Also, you can actually identify trends. Again, for women's shoes, I see two major spikes in March, so beginning of spring, and also September. So if I actually were a retailer, I would really think about this. Not only for allocating my marketing budget, but also for optimizing my stocks, my logistics, and so forth. And finally, actually this tool is really great of providing granularity. So here I have three major categories, but I can actually go then for women's shoes and go for red shoes, high heel shoes, flat shoes, and so forth. So I've actually covered demand, seasonality, and opportunity. And finally, let's talk about behavior. And since we're living in this multi-screen world, where actually each of us have like a tablet, a mobile phone, or a smartphone, and a laptop, basically what we can see over here in that square are the share of queries for desktop versus mobile. So that's mobile and tablet. And you can see at the beginning of the year, the share of mobile and tablet searches were about 12%, and by the end of the year, they were about 26%. So that's a huge growth, almost doubling. And finally, there you go. This is how those searches were split. 20% mobile, 6% tablet, and the rest desktop. So just imagine starting from this share and having a 100% growth rate year over year. Even if it's slowing down, in 2 to 3 years, most of the searches are going to come from a mobile device, either smartphone or tablet.
Thank you, Răzvan. So I should understand that the mobile is the future to be, as you say that for a few years, you Google people.
Exactly. If you look at growth rates for searches and behavior on mobile, definitely. In 2 to 3 years, we expect for more than 50% of the searches to come from mobile.
Thank you, Răzvan.
Thank you.
Now I have demand, that's for sure. I have seasonality. What do I do next? I say, okay, specialized help will be there to generate AdWords campaigns. It's the tool that Google has for us to get promoted. Okay, good. So, Radu, my colleague also, will help me understand, so what do I do with this demand online?
So we saw from Răzvan that there is interest online, that people are searching for what you are trying to sell. And now let's see how you can use Google AdWords to connect with those searchers, whatever they are doing online, on search, on display, and even when they watch a video online. Also, no matter the device they are using. In order to be successful on search, the most important thing you need to do is to be granular and to have a really well-structured account based on the products that you are selling. Now, I know that probably you already know some keywords for which you want to appear on Google, but the challenge is that 15% of the queries we see on Google every day are new, so have never been seen before. And in order to discover the entire keywords lists which are relevant to you, you can use a free tool which is available in the interface, and it is called the Keyword Planner. And with this tool, you can even get traffic estimates based on your budget and how much you are willing to pay for a click. Now, people don't like to spend too much time searching for information. They want to get that answer quick and go on along with their life. So only 5% of the time spent online by the users is on search. The rest of the time they are using to consume content. And by using Google Display Network, you can reach those people too. Google Display Network has a huge coverage in Romania, but of course you are not interested in everybody. You want to target only the people who are interested in what you want to sell. And for this, you can use the powerful targeting features which are available in the AdWords platform. So, for example, if you want to sell wedding shoes, you can target demographically and maybe by interest category to show your ad only to girls who are browsing content about weddings.
And I can add to that modified bidding if these girls are in Banasa on mobiles, for example.
Of course, if they are in a specific region and you think that the chance of them to buy something from them is higher, you can bid more for those users. And now actually you can go beyond the simple banner and you can create an experience for your users. And you can do that by using the new formats which are available in the platform and which are called engagement ads. And I will show you a short clip about them to see how they work. Play.
So until we have the video, I can tell you about the engagement ads, which are a specific format that allows the viewer to click on the banner, which appears first as a picture, and then it expands next to the banner, and it allows the user to engage with the content, either to click on a video, either to configure a car, either to live stream, to see a live streaming from YouTube, either to have a catalog of products.
No. Yeah, so we have the sound, but we don't have the image.
It's okay.
Of these ads.
You will have to search on for Google.
On YouTube for engagement ads.
On YouTube. Okay. Radu, what else can I do? Skip the technical.
Yeah, the issue is that less than 5% on average, less than 5% of your visitors are buying from their first visits. And in order to try to re-engage with them, to try to sell them something, you can use remarketing. You should use remarketing, which allows you to create lists of users who have been on your website. And afterwards, you can show them a customized message on search or on display. And
you mentioned granularity. Can I be very granular in this?
Yes, of course. For example, if somebody has added the product to the basket, but he didn't finish the transaction, that person is more valuable to you than somebody who just visit the homepage. And you can decide that you can bid more for that user. Also, you can bid more based on categories. Maybe you have a higher margin on some of your products, and you can decide that you can pay more for click for those visitors. And of course, the next slide, the most important thing you should do is to measure everything you are doing. And now, thanks to Google Universal Analytics, the new version of Analytics, you can measure what users are doing not only online, but also offline if they come to your store to buy something.
Great. Thank you, Radu, so much. Now that I've conquered the Romanian market, I would like to go abroad because I just want to sell shoes, and I have already the market share I want here. And I'll ask Anna, who is my colleague, the expert on export, to help me out conquer the world.
Hi, Ella.
On the
I
next
love your
slide.
shoes. Hi. Oh, okay. I'm an expert on export, but not necessarily on PowerPoint. So it's okay. So right now, I hear you're doing the basics just right. You're having a great account, very clean, very granular. You're doing remarketing. You know your audience is everything is going just fine. You're just staying there, watching people buying, hearing the money dropping in your account, and you're just there thinking the world is your oyster, right?
Definitely.
Yes, I know. Well, actually, if you ask me, your oyster is actually a medium-sized Eastern European country. And you know, the world is full of women who could actually benefit from wearing such a lovely pair of shoes like you design. So maybe it's time, as you said before, to start about expanding your market. And of course, expanding the market sometimes may seem like a huge daunting task. You don't know where to start. But you know, at Google, there's a tool for that, always. Yes. And this tool is called, and I really hope I can make it seen. Okay, maybe like that. I cannot operate this thing. Next slide, please. This tool is called the Global Market Finder. It's not as famous as other tools like Google Trends. You have to research for it a bit. You're gonna have in the presentation the address. I don't know what it's not clear now, but this tool is going to help you in a very easy way assess the competition, assess the keywords, and the initial investment you need to do for different markets. As you see, it's quite easy to use. You just select your location, your language, a few keywords. For starters, we have tried searching for a few generic keywords about shoes, and the market you are interested in. The market can be selected in groups, can be selected by continents, but also by similar markets, for example, emerging markets or the G20. No, it's okay. And after a very brief analysis, you are going to see, the presentation is a bit before, but it's okay, I can manage. Okay, you are going to see the opportunity for each market. And the opportunity takes into consideration the local monthly searches, how many people are interested in your most relevant keywords. The recommended bid, it's an average for each of these markets, and also the competition, how many other advertisers are competing on the same keywords. And we have some great insights we can extract from this tool. For example, we can see that in some markets, some words are more popular than others. You see the words are actually translated automatically by the Global Market Finder. But in an interesting way, you can see that in some markets, for example, in the Polish market, all the words are in the local language. In other markets, in Italy, for example, you can see that also the original English keywords are quite popular, and maybe in this particular market, it would be interesting to go along with an English website. As you can see, the English keywords are, well, the recommended bid is lower while still having a decent number of searches. So this is where you can spot all kind of the insights that can actually help you plan actually the expansion. You don't need to translate the website, you just can go along with the English one. Hopeless, thank you. Okay, so let's say, for example, you want to launch for tax reasons or for delivery reasons. You only want to launch in the European Union. You can select only the European Union markets and analyze these. For example, in first view, you can see that there are some markets where you can launch immediately with your English website because the English keywords are enough search, for example. Let's take then a deep dive. Next slide, please. Okay, let's take then a deep dive into Germany, which is a big market, very interesting. What you can see here, the keywords is additional keyword suggestions, which are sourced from the keyword planner that Radu mentioned earlier. So you can see the kind of shoes that are most popular, office shoes and Aldo shoes, for example. Of course, you do not sell Aldo shoes, you sell the amazing Ella shoes. So maybe if they have such a huge, search market for Aldo shoes, you can try to actually exclude Aldo shoes from your account. So yes. So you don't waste impressions on people who only want to buy Aldo, who do not want to buy your brand. So the tool can actually help you optimize your budget too. Okay. Next. Because I forgot. Okay. Now this is not what this is not my next slide. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, you have already seen what the tool is doing. What it's helping, it's going to help you actually isolate a market, compare markets against each other, assess the budget necessary, assess the initial keywords, and even help you set on a language you need to use. You can find a tool by Googling Global Market Finder. It's very easy. And I encourage you to use it because it's free. You don't even have to have an AdWords account yet, although I know you do. But actually, you don't have to log in to use it. You can use it even if you're an agency, for example, and you need to do assessment for your clients. You can use it even if you're a new client, never having done AdWords before. If you're a big client, it's the same tool for everyone. The sources are sourced from Google tools like the Keyword Planner and the other tools we have. It's super useful, and it can give you very good insights, and you can take the insights and then go back with them. For example, you can find the keywords. You can find the keywords, go back, I don't know what's going on, but anyway, it's the PowerPoint. You can have the keywords and then go back to the keyword planner and see how much of the keywords are on mobile and how much is on desktop, for example. So you can assess further the investment. It's very interesting, and I encourage you to use it, to play along with it, and I encourage everybody to search for it because it's quite nice.
Thank you, Anna. This is my last slide, which are my key takeaways. First of all, I encourage you to test and to use these tools: Consumer Barometer, our Mobile Planet, Google Trends, Global Market Finder. I encourage you to be very granular in the way you prepare your campaigns in order to best capture your demand. Okay, mulțumesc frumos. I also encourage you to work with professional persons, with agencies that are certified in working with these tools and have already had experience in this type of clients, and use specialized resources. Thank you so much.
Okay, quick question. How many people in here actually work for an e-shop? Put up their hands. Okay. How many people in here work for an agency or a media shop? Okay, okay. So the majority of the crowd is from agencies and digital media. So bringing us on to our next presentation, I'm very happy to introduce Tudor Manea from IMAG, and he's going to tell us how it works.
Thank you very much, George. Congratulations, Ella. Great presentation.
The shoes are best.
The shoes are best.
Buy them.
Maybe when we will launch the fashion category, you can sell your shoes in IMAG Marketplace. Okay. So, technical issues. Close it. Okay, great. We've switched to Mac. We thought we would get rid of the technical issues, but apparently we didn't. So, my name is Tudor Manea. I'm in charge of human resources and technology at IMAG. Maybe I get this question pretty often: what do human resources and technology have in common? It's kind of new for us. IMAG is basically a technology company, and by putting the two together, we wanted to put technology at the center of our development. So this is the reason why we chose it to put the two together. So human resources, technology, and now performance marketing. When I thought about, okay, I'll go to performance marketing presentation, I think I must choose a campaign to talk about. I was wondering, okay, what campaign to choose? I say, let's take the biggest campaign and the most performant one of all. So today we'll talk about Black Friday. I will try to make a dive behind the scenes. So besides what was present and what was seen in the media, I will try to give some insight information also on marketing and also on operations, whatever happens behind the scenes. Okay, like every decent marketing campaign, we had we had three major objectives in 2003 for the Black Friday. The first one was to increase the trust in e-commerce. The second one was to attract more new clients to our website. And the third one was to build a know-how in scaling the business. eMag has a goal to reach sales of 1 billion euros very soon. And this know-how will help us then, because at 1 billion euros we'll have a Black Friday every day. So it's best to be prepared. Let's start with some history. So how do we got to the idea to create a Black Friday? I remember that we were in San Diego back in 2011. We were at the Internet Retailer presentation, and we were talking about how can we get people to move from offline to the online environment. And we said we need something big. And then I don't know how we saw, but we saw the images from Black Friday with people crowding in the stores, and we said we want something like that done on online. And then we said, okay, we must do Black Friday in Romania in 2011. And we said, okay, we don't need big preparations. 3 weeks before the event, we started to prepare. Even though we prepared for 3 weeks, the event was a great success on the public. We had the event got a big traction, and we reached some interesting figures. And but from an operational standpoint, things didn't go that well. And we kept the event live until I remember 12:30, something like that. And because we reached our most optimistic estimates, so we said, okay, probably we will have something like 10,000 orders. So it would be great, but we got far more than that and said, okay, it's enough. After that, in 2011, based on a study made by Dedalus, we knew that 4.1 million people knew about the event before that, and 27% of them had the intention to buy in the event. So we prepared a lot better from an operational standpoint. After that, in 2013, the same study told us that 7.4 million people knew about Black Friday, and 49 of them had the intention to buy in the event. So we created a big event and knew that in 2013 we needed to prepare better from a marketing standpoint. In our figures, the Black Friday in terms of visits look like this. So we had 700,000 visits in 2011, 2.2 million in 2012, and 3.1 million in 2013. As I said, we needed to prepare better in 2013 from a marketing standpoint. Having 7.4 million people knowing about the event, we knew that we will have a lot of competitors, both online and offline, at the event. So what did we do? We took a 360-degree approach in which we communicated through all the possible marketing channels, and we also implemented on our own channels on the website and through email marketing some special tools. On the website, we created a dedicated homepage, and through email marketing, we sent our customers. We called it survival guide. This survival guide has had two interesting objectives. From a customer standpoint, we wanted to teach the customers a fast way to reach their product. So I remember myself for last Christmas when I went to the hypermarket to buy the groceries. I stayed about 2 hours, and it was not that pleasant. I wish I had a survival guide back then. From our standpoint, the survival guide wanted to educate the customers in our business model, our core business model. Make an account, stay online, put the order online, and after that order it through the courier. And our marketing efforts really paid off. At the time we launched the website, there were about 160,000 people on the website waiting to buy the products. From a performance marketing standpoint, we got click-through rates that were 50 times higher than a regular day on Black Friday. From visits and conversion rate standpoint, every marketer's dream, increase traffic and increase conversion rate. We got 86 times more new customers than we get on a regular day, and the sales were 20% higher. In that day, we kept our strategy to expand horizontally and sell almost every possible category. We sold from our classic categories, meaning laptops, mobile phones, tablets. We even sold shovels for snow. And we thought that in 2013 we need to add something new that would allow us to sell some more. I have a movie now, I hope it will work. So we sold cars, basically. We had this objective to somehow create a little buzz, and said that through cars we could achieve it, and we really did. It's an interesting story. There was a couple I think in Sinaia who, when they received the email with the products at 12 o'clock in the evening, they stayed each one slept for 1 hour, the other slept for 1 hour to waiting for the launch, and to actually buy the product, and they bought it. It was, I think they were a happy couple for them. Okay, so let's move on, and somehow I'd like to present next what really happened behind. So this was the marketing picture. This was what was seen for the customers. But in order to put on stage an event like this, there is a lot of things that are happening behind. We learned our lesson in 2011, and we knew that 3 weeks were not enough to prepare such an event. So in 2013, we started to prepare with 6 months in advance. We made a huge investment in infrastructure. This means IT infrastructure, logistics infrastructure. There were about 1,000 man days from our IT engineers, and the results were good. In 2013, for the first time, we had 100% platform uptime, and from a logistics standpoint, there were about 3,000 orders processed per hour in the warehouse. And this is huge. Okay. Another interesting thing we observed. So in that day, when before starting the event, we had a very good plan that involved about 30 to 40 people that would actually take part in launching the event. There were a lot of preparations, double checking, triple checking, and everything started at about 3 a.m., something like that. At 3 a.m., the 30 people were there. And we had a great surprise seeing that at 6 a.m., the whole headquarters, which is about 300, 400 people, were at work, even though they weren't in the actual team that would run the project. And everybody was energized, full of adrenaline. Okay, we will do it. We will achieve something great. Looking back, what was interesting, we saw that people were energized by the fact that they sensed they were taking part in something bigger than their regular work. They sensed that in that day they could change something in the way shopping was done, because an event like this really moves people from the offline to the online industry. In Romania, Black Friday is mostly associated with online. Okay. Another two things I'd like to mention before. What was important for us in building this event was innovation. We had the first idea, and that thing is not really enough, let's say, because you had to keep it alive. Every year you must come with something new. You must innovate in order to push the event harder and to get more reach and more awareness. And another thing is you have to grow the know-how. You must learn from each event and then grow it further on. As an idea, last year we replicated the event with success in Bulgaria, and we didn't need 6 months preparation, and either we didn't lose that much money as in 2011. So thank you very much.
Okay. Any questions following the two first presentations? Anybody? No? Okay. Yes? Okay. Can we have a microphone up there, please?
Hello. Okay. So I have two questions to Google, to the Google team. Okay. First of all, I know that GDN has a lot of coverage. Okay, let me start over. I'm coming from the neighbor of Romania, Republic of Moldova, smaller country. I know that GDN has a lot of coverage. My agency is a Google partner. My question is, how do we find out how many websites are using AdSense to know on which of them to advertise, which of them to use in our campaigns? And the second question is, at the moment in our country we don't have geographical targeting. We just have the whole country. Yeah, we don't have the cities, the streets. Okay, let's say that.
Is there a third question?
No, just the two.
Okay.
So let's say that the online community in my country will push the government to go public with the IP families, and all the internet operators will make sense in them. Which is the next step? We write to Google, here are the IP families, please work with them, please make geographical targeting in our country work, or what's the procedure?
Can I answer the second one? Yes. Okay. The issue with geo-targeting is not only relevant to your country. It is actually applicable in quite a few countries, and it has to do with how the telecommunication backbone has been set up in each country, how the IP addresses have been distributed throughout each country. If they have been done in a very specific way, then this information can be passed back to Google and to other players, and they can target based on your IP. If they have not, and it's messed up, then it's impossible, and it's something that the telecoms industry has to resolve before it can be used for marketing purposes. So I don't know if I help, and back to the first question.
Back to the first question. I don't know to answer you right now about Republic of Moldova, because I don't have the figures. We don't cover from Romania the Republic of Moldova. But for Romania, I can tell you that in the network of GDN, we have 98% of the sites. So it's more than 25,000 sites. And if we're talking about the traffic in Romania, so the content Romanians use online, more than 60% is content from abroad. So from this perspective, you can reach via GDN all the sites from the world, and you can get this 100% coverage that Radu was mentioning. And back to your second question, this is a matter of evolving the country more than just the IPs. It's more than that. It's a perspective of involvement in the whole process of development of the online market. And I would not have the answer from Google Romania for the Republic of Moldova.
Okay. Ella, would you like to take a seat as we're going to introduce all our panelists? Anybody else following the two presentations? Yes, one final question up in the back.
Hello. This is also a question for the Google team. Your colleague mentioned earlier that you can use the Google Trends tool to see how many searches were on a particular product, for instance, women's shoes. The tool doesn't actually show the volumes, right? So the spike we saw earlier can mean at the same time 12 searches as well as 2,000 searches. So basically, it's not a tool for measuring a marketing potential.
It's not a tool that gives you absolute figures, it's true. And you can combine it with the keywords tool planner, and you can also combine it with the other tools that we have mentioned, and there you would get to a very much extent a more precise answer, but it will not give you the number of searches per se. It cannot do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let me invite to the panel the rest of the speakers and participants, and let me start off with Sebastian. Sebastian is in charge of agency partnerships for Facebook in Central and Eastern Europe. So let's have a big round of applause for all our panelists. Okay, let me also introduce Gabor. Gabor, here we are from Fashion Days. Big round of applause. Okay, Marius Negre from Tripster, online travel agent. And another expert, head of performance media for emerging markets from Google, Oren. Where is he? Ah, here we are. Okay. And, of course, Tudor, which you saw earlier. Please join us. Okay, so I have a lot of questions which I'm sure are playing in a lot of people's minds, and I will tell you why. Forest, which I work for, is a performance marketing agency, part of the Think Digital group. So when we talk about performance, it means that we measure a lot of stuff, okay? So in order to know how we're performing, we need to measure a lot of stuff. And we are media agnostic, which means we are going to use anything provided we get the result. So I'm going to start off with just very quickly to give you an idea of the experts that we have on the panel here. Fashion Days, how many countries are you actually present in and market to?
Yeah, so we are market leaders in Central Eastern Europe, and we are in 7 markets.
7 markets, okay. So we have retail and fashion. And Tripster, okay. How many countries is Tripster present in? Or how many countries do you sell to?
We are present in 36 countries.
36 countries.
Our last countries, Indonesia and Taiwan.
Okay.
But obviously we sell all over the world because we have the English website and we have customers from more than 100 countries.
Okay. Biggest selling country for you?
I think currently Russia.
Russia. Okay. Excellent. And EMAG, what are your plans for the future?
Our plans are to
Our plans are to expand horizontally in Romania and add more categories to our offer, and also replicate the business model in the CE region.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to start off with a very, very traditional approach to advertising. And we always used to talk about 360 advertising, integrated marketing, and that used to involve radio, television, print, outdoor, whatever. If we come to the digital world, then obviously we have a lot of different channels. And we start talking about social, display advertising, search advertising, email marketing, content distribution, mobile. So digital appears to be a 360 world on its own, with different media channels and different ways to communicate to consumers. So I'm going to start off with a basic question that a lot of the advertising agencies have faced over time. Same message for all channels or not? Who wants to take the first question?
Okay, since the microphone was for us, definitely not, especially due to very different mixture of cultures. So definitely we cannot use the same message in Russia compared to France, or in France compared to Hong Kong.
But what about the
inside the same country, between distribution channels? Yes, we split the message because our clients are in different stages of the buying process. So we adapt the message based on the buying process, and also we differentiate the message based on channel affiliate networks versus search or display.
Okay.
I remember there was a sociologist who said 60 years ago that the media is the message. I learned that in faculty. And I think it's true. If you have a video campaign on YouTube, you had better try to do it different than the one on TV, because then the conversion rate would be completely different. That's just one example.
Yes, because the user patterns are totally different. On mobile, it's got to be thumb friendly, because the thumb is basically a power to stop the content. If you're not mobile friendly, let's say, there is no way to reach people over there. Obviously, like the pre-rolls or the video content, it cannot be 5 minutes long or even 30 seconds. It's attention span is totally different on different devices. So definitely different message tailored for different places.
Okay.
Yeah, we in the fashion retail industry, we would say that you have to go even much further. And I would say that, of course, the message is different in different channels, but even in the channels that allow for more granular targeting, where you can use all kinds of interests or demographics, or even other forms of targeting, retargeting, your message is going to go down to be almost personalized to a very, very small level. So in that sense, I would say that, yeah, there are digital channels that do not allow this kind of granularity. There you have a more general message, which would probably even go into the image building kind of thing. But then there are the digital channels that are really bringing performance ultimately, and that you can use in different times, different places of the buying process, and you use messages. You test all kinds of messages, and you go down to a very granular level.
Okay. So I think we've established that each channel is going to have possibly a very different approach. Okay? So where does that leave us in terms of KPI? So if I'm going to be having different messages in different channels, what is my performance index? How do I know if I'm doing well or not? What should I be measuring within mobile, affiliate, social, search, display, premium display? So let's start with the retail side. Let's start over here. Tudor, what would you say?
So basically, what in about KPIs in a big we organize about 10 to 12 big campaigns every year, and we differentiate the messages both on channels, and we also differentiate by product category, because with us having a lot of categories, we need different messages. Where we are well known in the market, we go with a product. Where we are not well known, the new categories, we go with a top of mind kind of message. And in terms of KPIs, we look mostly at the big KPIs of the campaigns, and after that we follow through on every different channel.
So what's the KPI for the big campaigns?
The KPIs for the big campaigns in the end is sales, as I've showed also in the presentation. But we look a lot at new clients and new clients in different categories.
Okay, so we're looking for new customers, which might not be sales, but otherwise it is sales.
Otherwise, it is sales.
So it's sell, sell, sell some more. And what would Google say?
Hi, good morning, good noon, everybody. I think that it's a great question because this is a thing that we're struggling also with our clients at Google. How can you look at the KPIs? What makes sense today in this 360 degrees digital world that we're living in? And the answer is basically, if you're looking into the history of how performance advertising online was working since the beginning of online advertising in let's say 15 years ago, the currency was CPC, CPA. That's the benchmark. That's what we're measuring. Let's have a CPC target. Let's have a CPA, cost per acquisition target. And it's not enough today. It's not enough today because we have to look at the wider scope of the business. And we're trying to build a narrative, or actually we build a narrative that we can work closely with clients on, that basically helps you to move the needle from the CPA and CPC level to the real return of investment on your ad investment, basically, and the profits that you can generate. And in the end of the day, the lifetime value of the client. And I think that that should be the KPI, the main KPI that we're looking in, especially in the performance business, if we want to achieve the true goal and to see exactly what we're generating from our entire digital activity, whether it's Google, Facebook, or any other online platform. What is the overall lifetime value that we're receiving from clients, and then we can really place our bets and invest in the right way in the different medias. And that is my main message to your question about what is the metrics and what is the KPI.
Okay, so if I understand this correctly, we have another KPI. So it's not just interaction engagement with new customers. It's not just the sale to a new customer, but it's also the lifetime value of this customer. Okay, do you measure that in Fashion Days? Do you measure the lifetime value of the customer, and how do you use it?
Yeah, we do our best in order to have an accurate understanding or a real understanding of the value of a customer. And I would just say that that's not always very simple to do. Yeah, and but that's why I thought that even to go more into the KPIs, I say, yeah, you bring you create new customers, or you acquire new customers. You then sell to these customers. Maybe you sell them repeatedly. Then by this, you're creating value for your company. You're looking at the return on investment. You might as well. I mean, when you're really advanced, then you might, in the end, look at the segments that you can create within your customer base, people who have already bought from you, and look for movements within the segments, and then identify the value that you created with a campaign by the movement it created within the segments. If it moved, let's say, churn or sleeping customers into rebuying customers, etc., and you attach a certain value to that, and by that,
your customer lifetime value calculation, well, becomes ever more complex in the end, but probably more accurate as well.
So we have a lot of digital advertising people in here and media shops. So it's getting even more and more complicated. New customer acquisition, sale, okay, lifetime value, and now we're putting the lifetime value of the customer into different audiences, okay? So it's a different lifetime value if he's a loyal, if he's a high spender or a low spender, or maybe the product category. So here is a question which I'm sure, how many media planners in the room? How many people plan media? 1, 2, how many people decide where to put the money? Okay? So, media mix. If we're talking about 360 within the digital channels, my question is, how much money do I put in search? How much money do I put in social? How much money do I put in email marketing, in affiliate marketing, in mobile marketing? Has anybody got the answer to this question?
There is no rule of thumb, obviously.
Okay.
It all depends not only of the segment of the market, but also the brand. Probably the more established brand it is, it's going to have totally different results, for example, for branded search or for social. So there is no rule of thumb, but you have to obviously measure it. And the best way is to measure obviously on an MTA, multi-touch attribution, because without that measuring on a post-click basis, it doesn't give you a full overview where you should put your money, because sometimes the channel doesn't give you the direct conversion, but maybe it supports conversion somewhere in the upper funnel. So MTA is crucial nowadays in this world where we have different channels.
So does everybody know multi-touch attribution? Does everybody know what it is? No? No? Okay? Only 2 people, everybody else knows. So I'm going to pick somebody from the audience and they're going to tell me
how multi-touch attribution works, because only 2 people said they don't know. The gentleman here, can you tell us? Multi-touch attribution, how it works?
I was not following the specific question.
Okay. So it doesn't ring a bell. So that's my point exactly. Multi-touch attribution. How can we measure all the digital touch points of an online customer or potential online customer? So maybe the travel agents, 36 countries. How do you do it?
We have an internal tool. We have a business intelligence department which created a data warehouse and gathers information from different proprietary tools or third parties. And basically everything we put in our data warehouse, and we create specific reports for different campaigns or general. It's something that we are still testing. It is more a business decision on how to attribute sales. Is it, I know, first click?
So basically you're saying you don't know yet.
We are...
it's a business, it's like my marketing gut, what I think, and I think the consumer does. Yeah?
No, we have the information. The only problem here that remains is to have a correct business decision on how to split the media plan, because this is where we started from. And this is something that you need to test continuously and find the correct channel for specific campaigns, because depending on the campaigns, things may
Different.
change.
Okay, so I think you said a magic word there, in case anybody didn't pick up. Test. Okay, so here's a company which actually has a business division which does data analysis in order for all the digital touch points to turn into a sale. How many clicks for a sale on average, would you say, for travel?
It's complicated.
It's complicated. Could be 8 clicks.
I can't do an average over the country.
Okay, okay. So, test. So, what would be an approach? Let's say I have €100,000, okay? So I'm going to do what? I'm going to put 10,000 into mobile marketing, 10,000 into search marketing, 10,000 into Facebook newsfeed, 10,000 into Facebook mobile targeting, 10,000 into affiliate marketing with Forest View, and 10,000 with email marketing, and 10,000 with what else? So, am I testing? Am I doing the right thing? And how long does it take for this test to start changing my media plan? Yes?
We take more of a Darwinian approach, let's say. So from that 100,000 euros, how do we do it? We take a smaller amount and put 1,000 and 1,000 on each channel. After that, we try to work on the message on that channel, try to improve the message. And when we reach something like 20,000, then we choose the best 2-3 channels and put the rest of the 80,000 on those channels.
So when you reach what exactly?
When we reach something like 20-30% of the budget.
Okay. So, and then you measure the cost per sale within the channel? Or how?
Yes, we measure the cost of sale for that specific channel, and after that we invest the rest of the money in the channels that give the best performance.
Okay, excellent. So, how can a media agency do a media plan if it's all about testing, right? Can anybody from a media agency answer that? I'd really, really like to help here. Okay, nobody has the answer. So it's testing. And you have the client which is asking for results every day. Yes?
I wanted to add to that. You can go push and pull. You know where people express intent. It's not just search, it's also in communities. And there you can go also with free resources that you invest there. It's your time and your creativity. And then you go like a guerrilla approach, if you want, in my personal opinion. You test it without all that investment for a first part, and then you go with a more medium investment into the intent that is already declared. And then you go and you generate demand.
Okay, so that's good. So I've got my message. So I start testing my message maybe in social without the advertising, see how the engagement is, see my feedback, see what I'm doing, and then I start also putting some money behind it and trying different channels.
And you also try to work with specialized agencies that have done that before. They would have the experience in order to know that if you are in fashion, then you need to show your products and then.
Okay, so does it same approach for fashion, travel, and electronics? Would you say to do the same or?
Yeah, now that you ask the special viewpoint of fashion, I would for a second return to the multi-touch attribution thing. That I think that's a very complex and quite complicated thing again. And I'm really happy that we are not so much in need of that because we are into the impulse buying business. So most women probably had like strong impulse with Ella shoes. I mean, that's the kind of impulse that we work with. And multi-touch attribution is less important in the case of fashion. I mean, we all know when we're planning a holiday that it's a little more complex than buying shoes. So that's...
let's not get into finance.
Yeah, but now to the actual question, how I would say that I love the Darwinian approach thing that, of course, you're basically, I mean, we are basically doing marketing all the time, 24/7, right? I mean, we've been doing forever, well, for 5 years, because that's how long the company has existed. So for 5 years we've been doing. All the learnings from the 5 years are available at any given moment. And in that sense, I mean, you never start from scratch. It's not that you say, okay, we start from scratch next year, next financial year, we're going to have this kind of budget, we're going to do this kind of thing, and this is what we are going to do. You have all this information, all this intelligence at your disposal, and of course, what you need to take as a very important advice, I think, from the testing thing is that you have to go and revisit stuff that you maybe forgot 3 years ago, because stuff might become more relevant for you. And you are, when you're pushing it, you're really spending a lot of money in certain channels, you are also burning the fuel, scorching it, and then you need to look at other options. So in that sense, you always have to not take for granted all the learnings from the past, but revisit it and test it, and that's the approach I used to do.
Okay, so how long, one thing which is, so we've established the test can be different, the message can be different. We've also established that it's good to try and test things without the advertising investment behind it, and then slowly introduce it. So how long would you say I have in order to start discovering the most effective channels for me? Like, do I have a month? Do I have to work on optimization of each channel for 3 months, and then start having a lot of data that I can say now I'm going to put 20% of my budget in A, maybe 13 B, and 10 in C? How long do you think is a critical time in order to collect information?
I would say that it very much depends on the volume. So time isn't an issue, because you can spend a whole lot of money within a day, and then you get all the data, and you can do optimization or apply the Darwinian approach the second day. But others have other opinions.
I have to add that to go back to my lifetime value approach. With one day of spend, it will be very hard to calculate what in the end of the day is the value of your client. So maybe they require a shoe or a t-shirt or a sneaker, but in the end of the day, you don't know what you really get for them in the long process. That should be the different mindset that we're looking into. Because it's not a one-off campaign approach to optimize on. We're doing performance interaction. It's 360 degrees marketing. This is our business. And we should look at the business and what we're getting out of it into the long term, not into one single campaign shot. So maybe we can do it in Black Friday, and then calculate the lifetime value from a specific activity before Black Friday, and then come back to those numbers and to those understandings next year in Black Friday. But when we have ongoing performance activity and the lifetime value is a factor, it will be very hard to get right approach and how you optimize and how you split the revenue between the different channels and between the different platforms in the right way.
And also the platforms are evolving so fast. Nowadays, 6 months is almost a century, and the revolution of mobile, it's not, if someone is going to say you that your mobile is next year.
It's not mobile, it's multi-screen, I'm sorry.
So how many times have we heard the year of mobile? Okay? 10 years ago, maybe? 5 years ago? 3 years ago, for sure. I've been hearing it for the past 5 years, every year. But my question is this, okay? Multi-screen, we're going to come to that in a second. So I'm getting a lot of traffic to my website. And I'm getting a lot of traffic which is from advertising, different sources. So I'm measuring each channel. I'm getting referral traffic from other websites which just decide to put links to my website. And I'm getting a lot of organic traffic. Okay, so people that maybe know me and come back, or have just heard of me from someplace else, and they visit my website. And we tend to call this traffic actually organic. Maybe they do a search and they come to us. So could any of the retailers tell me, is there any type of traffic that is more valuable and that converts better compared to other sources of traffic?
Well, definitely organic traffic has a good conversion rate. I wouldn't say that the best conversion rate, but it also depends a lot on the on your strategy for a specific country. As you probably know, in Greece, for example, because our brand is very strong, we have a lot of organic traffic. But I wouldn't say that it's more valuable than the paid traffic that we get in the UK or that we get in South Africa, because the actual lifetime value of the customer is higher. So I wouldn't say that the organic traffic is more valuable.
So maybe if you're an established brand, it can be more valuable, but in less established brands, then the advertising is naturally going to have to be there to start converting people. Would the same work for EMAG, now a big brand in Romania?
In Romania, indeed, we have a lot of organic traffic, but in different countries that we expanded our operations, like Bulgaria and Hungary, over there we don't have such a big brand at the moment, and most of the traffic comes from the paid channels. And I'd say that there are some channels that give a huge conversion rate for the products that we sell, and other channels that give a lower conversion rate. So actually, as we said, it depends country by country.
Okay, so we've had different KPIs per channel, we've had different investment per channel, and we have to test all this in order to start making sense of our digital advertising plan. And we have talked about multi-attribution touch points in the lifetime value of a customer so far. And we've also discussed organic versus paid visits. So my next question is, and this is where it starts getting even more complicated, is we said different messages for different mediums, but also different messages for different people. So how could we, on Facebook, which now has an excellent targeting ability, segment our audiences in order to bring people back and get a conversion, get a sale? What could we do?
Apart from regular demographics targeting, that you know, the age, the geo-targeting, the interest targeting, you're also able to actually combine us with your data. So you're able to upload the email addresses of, let's say, your VIP clients and actually retarget them on Facebook using the custom audiences product. And also, it does work also on mobile, so, or any multi-screen device. It does allow you to remarket, it does allow you to upsell, cross-sell to your most valuable clients. So let's say you're a bank and you have a client with a credit card. If you want to give them, I don't know, a special discount or a special offer, you're able to upsell them with custom audiences product. Then we have website custom audiences product that allows you to remarket not only on desktop but also on mobile, because it's not cookie based, and cookies doesn't exist on mobile. So there is a couple of ways to remarket, upsell, cross-sell on Facebook, and we have plenty of them.
So I think we can do the same between mobile and non-mobile on Google, right, in terms of the tracking. So that brings me to a question. I mean, you showed the slide before, which was very, very interesting. And the slide showed, okay, I'm getting 70, I used to get 90% of search on desktops. Now I'm getting about 74% of search on desktops, 6% on tablets, and the rest on mobile. Okay, so things are changing, obviously, within the behavior of the consumer. But I don't see the same in terms of my sales. I'm not getting 6% sales from tablet or 74% of sales from desktop. So I can see the surge. So obviously there is a reason why he's doing it. We're talking about the multi-attribution. What am I to do? How can I make a decision as to...
Okay, great question. I think that we're hearing a lot from a lot of performance advertisers. Yes, we understand the consumer shift. People are moving to mobile, but it's not converting to me. It's not working for me. And I think we should change the mindset, because the problem is not the fact that it's not converting to you. Probably many of the reasons that it's not converting to you is because of the user experience on those devices. We did a research in Google, we released it a month and a half ago, about user experience on different devices for different verticals, and we have like 25 commandments, 25 ideas or basic rules that every marketeer, every online player that wants to build his mobile presence should look into to see what's going on. And I can give many examples, but just to illustrate one. If you have a call center, you're a retailer that sells online, but you have also a call center for selling, not retailer, let's go for a finance, insurance company, for example. And you have an online app, and you have a mobile app, and you have a mobile website, but you have a call center that takes a lot of phone calls. Why don't you use a simple click-to-call feature that you have on your campaign and click from your mobile device? Many of the advertisers still don't use it, and use it as a conversion type. You can track a call from the basically the ad on Google AdWords to your call center and measure conversion and use it as another means of testing if it's working or not working for you. And this is just one example. As I said, we have something like 25 basic rules, and it's getting deeper than that. So to your question, my main message is we should all get ourselves fast into understanding this shift. We did it internally at Google. To the people in the room that work with AdWords, you probably remember the big shift that we made last year to enhance campaigns, to the way that we were targeting different devices. And this is coming from the understanding that the consumers are shifting to mobile. So that's in a nutshell.
And maybe I can add something that also the attribution part is not where it should be, because there's plenty of people that actually see the ad on one of the mobile devices and then complete the order on the other device. And this is not tracked properly. That's why we need to move towards LTV or identity-based tracking, where we're going to have one identity across all the publishers or...
When do you see that coming? How far away are we? A year? 2 years? What do you think?
I think it's going to be extremely fast.
Extremely fast, and we have answers to that. So we have at Google. A year. Again, it depends how sophisticated, how fast, how equipped are you with technical people to make this transition in your company. And the way to support it is available, basically. If you're looking at Google Analytics, if you're looking at Universal Analytics that we just announced recently, and other means of measuring even attribution, multi-channel funnels that we have in AdWords, display funnels that we have in AdWords. We have all the tools in there that we need, other than the Googlers, obviously the clients and the agencies to understand how to work with that and to implement it correctly in order to get the right data signals for their business.
So this is fantastic news. We hear from some of the major players that this could be happening within a year from now, okay? And what is going to happen? We are going to be able to track the user across devices. So we will know if he logged in from his mobile or his tablet and then the desktop as well, yes? And we'll know that it's the same user that looked at us 3 times before he actually came to sell, okay? So then I will start knowing better where to place my advertising pressure between these devices.
Just to add on it, it's not in the future, it's happening now. Today at Google we have, in Google AdWords, cross-device conversion tracking and estimation on where the conversions are coming from. If you're talking about mobile, tablet, desktop and so on. So it's happening already today, and you can use it in AdWords. It's going to be much more sophisticated and go also to the online to offline worlds in the near future.
Okay, so let me take you down on a new route, and I'm going to address the online retailers and e-shops of the panel. And the question is programmatic buying. Okay, how do I use data in order to make buying decisions of advertising space online? Has anybody actually tried that? Or are you doing any of that marketing?
I'm not always entirely sure I understand what is meant under the umbrella of programmatic. But I would say that we are doing a lot of remarketing through different, we are trying all the, most of the available providers that have access, that have a large reach. As I told you, we are in 7 markets across the region. So we are contributing
by country, going in with different partners to do the remarketing, which actually does dynamic remarketing to the RTV platforms. So is that on the programmatic?
That's very, yes. I mean, the way I understand it, or we use it at Forest, is basically if we start building data on an audience, like he left a basket, and he has visited my site another 3 times, and he has also accessed through the mobile, then I know that this guy is probably very interested in my product. So when I can track across devices, I also know he's a fan on my page. So this user is probably very, very important to me. So when I see him within the advertising environment and I can actually target him, then I'm going to place a higher bid. It's going to be a more important purchase of this person online than anybody else probably, because he's going to convert. Okay, so one final question. We're talking about multi-attribution, and we've heard about some big acquisitions lately. One is Google bought Adometry, and AOL in the States bought Convertro. So these 2 companies are attribution companies. So these are companies that actually measure attribution between channels and devices. Why do you think these acquisitions have taken place, and are they going to change the way that we are approaching our attribution to date, and how fast?
I can answer regarding the acquisition of Adometry. I came back last week from Mountain View, and I had the privilege to meet some of the folks that were in charge of this acquisition. Basically, as you said, the complexity is here to stay, and it's going to be much more complex. We talked about moving from mobile to multi-screen. There's 3 screens today that we're usually referring to, the desktop, the tablet, and the smartphone. It's going to be much more complicated in the near future with connected TVs, with Google Glass and other wearable devices, with connected cars, and it's just the beginning. And in order to really give a concrete answer, apart from the automated tools that we have that I talked about, the multi-channel funnel, the Google Analytics and Universal Analytics that are available to everybody that use Google platforms, we acquired this company in order to bring on additional knowledge and a way to push this attribution way of thinking forward with our biggest and largest advertisers in the beginning, but probably we'll see a lot of the knowledge that is coming from their work also to other parts of the world apart from the US and Western Europe mostly in the beginning.
Okay, so things are changing, and they're changing very fast. And we're going to see big changes in cross-channel attribution within the year. So I have a silly question, okay? I haven't got a business analysis department of 10 people to work on the data. You told me, all of you told me, that I need to test my campaign, my advertising message, etc. So today, am I to do it on the last click or not?
Hire the team. That's my message to you.
Okay.
If you want to survive.
Anybody else? How can I do it today?
You're gonna make huge mistake if you're gonna not hire the team or measure on the last click.
Okay. Are you doing it on the last click?
We have a team of about 150 by
Okay,
engineers.
thank you, thank you. Okay.
You can
So.
just look into your attribution funnel and test whatever. Shakespeare said, a rose is a rose by any other name and would smell as sweet as any other rose. It's the same. You just cannot escape the testing. You need to take acknowledgement of the fact that if you want to be online, as in any other business, you need to work your ass. And if you don't do that, you cannot make it. So you need to test.
So basically the message I'm getting is be focused, track, look at the forest, and not just the tree, look at the big picture, lifetime value, okay, not just the last click, and I think be patient as well, actually, to collect the data. Okay. Now, anybody else have a question for our panel? Yes.
on the statistics using the history of conversions. In Facebook, it only shows how much money did you spend to get a conversion. So where is this CPA? CPA comes from, if you're going to implement conversion pixel on your page, then you're able to measure CPA on a post-click and post-view basis, and you can check, and you can actually check on how many days post-click and post-view basis. So, and you can define what kind of conversion is it. Is it putting to the basket, or maybe it's a full conversion, or maybe a lead, or maybe I'm not sure if that gives you an answer.
No. When I'm working with AdWords, I'm saying yes, AdWords, okay. I agree to pay $5 for each conversion. Yeah. And on Facebook, you only show me that I have spent $7 on advertising until I get a conversion. The next conversion might be after spending $11.
But you can optimize towards conversion and cap your conversions at the certain level.
Okay, but I cannot make a deal with Facebook saying I agree on paying $5 for each conversion.
Yes, you can. Yes, there are tools. Okay. There are tools which you can use, and it's. Oh, I wouldn't want to give.
Go to the page. There is a PMD Center, Preferred Marketing Developer, Facebook, and you can browse the tools. There is like hundreds of them. The biggest developers in the world, like Adobe, Namigans, and others, and you can contact them, and you're gonna get the best tools in the world to optimize your conversions.
Does that help? Yeah. If you want, you can talk to some of the people from ForestU. They do it for hundreds of clients all over Europe. So, and they use both AdWords and Facebook. So feel free. Anybody else? Next question. Yes.
Hello. I have a question for Facebook and Google, I think, regarding identity-based targeting. Isn't this going to be a huge privacy issue?
Good question.
We are very concerned about privacy, and we are protecting our users. So we already, every of those platforms is actually doing this already. If you're logged in on Facebook on your device, on your mobile, and on your desktop, you're exactly the same person. So that's what we mean by identity-based marketing. If you're on Google, if you're on Chrome, on Android, on Google+, on YouTube, you're once again the same person. So this is happening already, and obviously all those companies are very privacy concerned, and we are extremely careful about handling this data. But we also playing according to EU rules. Our headquarters are based in Dublin, so we are playing according to EU rules, not only US, so we are following those rules.
And Google?
Basically, the answer is the same regarding the safety of the users. I just add on it that you have the ability, if you want to log out and to not be targeted on our system if you desire to. So it's open and transparent, and if you don't want to be retargeted as a user that have visited sites that are in your interest, you can do it and clear your data history, and then you'll be out of those lists. And it's not going to be private, it's not going to be you directly, obviously. It's a group of people with specific user habits and content interests. That's the idea of those targeting methods that we're talking about, and as I said again, you can log out of it if you don't want to. Personally.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have...
Sorry, just a second. And there is also google.com/ads preferences, and you can just tell to the system which are the areas that you're interested or not.
Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to do a quick round of the panel to give us one word of advice for our digital media campaigns. The most important thing that we need to remember.
I'd say from our standpoint, the most important thing is to look 360 and cover all possible channels and keep on testing each channel every time.
I will say three things that I will elaborate in 20 minutes or so on the other stage. One is data and tracking. As I said, it's super important. The second one is don't be afraid of mobile and don't say it's not working for me or multi-screen. You have to test and test and test, and in the end it will work because the users are there. And the third thing is not CPA, not CPC, but work towards lifetime value. It's very complicated. People said it here, but this is the future of our profession, basically.
I think it's important to plan everything carefully, take the time to test, take the time after that or during also the testing to analyze the data, and after that be courageous enough to implement changes and to adjust your campaign, no matter at which point you are in the campaign, in order to reach the goals.
I would add on one of the topics that I mentioned in my presentation, use specialized support. Go to agencies, go to people, freelancer if you don't want an agency, but work with an agency so that they can do what they are trained to do. And that will help you also test better, do things better.
Test, iterate, scale, and measure in the proper way, because the world is changing rapidly. So things that didn't work a couple of years back now probably in a totally different place.
I would say work with your BI and IT a lot. Be with them.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's have a big round of applause for the panel.